Hello then, welcome to the QMB Stars League preview show, all in English here on Alcast, as we look ahead to all 6 matches in week 12 in the company of former English Premier League players Nick Summerby and Chris Makin. Can you believe it? We're into the second half of the season now, into week 12. And already, Nick and Chris believe they know how the league will finish at the end of the season. That's knowledge for you. Chris.
What do you want, the top 4 or the bottom 2?
Oh, give me it all.
Top 4, Al Al Sadd, Al Rayyan, Al Ahli. Bottom 2, Karachi at bottom, and the big debate from the review show, I will go with, to get relegated, Al Khor still.
I agree. It's not the same. Unless now, obviously, new manager coming in for Karachi, unless he's a magician, you know, and gets them going. But yeah, I'll go with exactly the same. But who's going to stop De Gea? You have to say that.
Yes, well, plenty for us to discuss over the next 25 minutes or so. Let's first show you the league standings after 11 weeks and how they line up for week 12. As we move into the second half of the season and into week 12, Al Ahli lead the way in the QNB Stars League with 28 points, 7 points ahead of second place Al Rayyan. Al Sadd are third with 20, and Al Salia 1 point further back make up the top 4. Al Ahli and Al Gharafa make up the top half of the table. Down in the bottom half of the table, Salal are in 7th, Al Shahniya still strong in 8th, Al Arabi have slipped down to 9th place, and Qatar Sports Club have slipped down to 10th. Al Khor are still too close to danger for comfort with 8 points, and Al Kharatiat prop up the table. The fixtures in week 12 are spread over 2 days. On Thursday, the 8th of November, the early kick-off is Al Ahli against Al Shahniya at 17:10 Doha time. Then 2 matches kick off at 19:20. Qatar Sports Club versus Al Gharafa and Al Sadd against Al Kharatiat. Then on Friday, the 9th of November, 2 games kick off at the early time of 17:10 Doha time. That's Al Ahli versus Al Rayyan and Al Khor up against Al Arabi. The later kick-off at 19:20 sees Salal face Al Salia. First up, it's Al Ahli versus Al Shahniya. Come on then, gentlemen, let's go straight to Al Ahli. Who is going to beat them? That's a question. You said who can catch them, and who can catch them on this sort of form. This was the victory of Al Arabi, Nick, in week 11.
They're not finishing teams off like we used to see in the first half, but when they do eventually get it right, which they have done in this game, I mean, this is them at their best. This is what it's all about, De Gea. This is what we will see more of from here to the end of the season. And they're getting the results, and the most worrying thing is that they haven't really got going yet, which they will do, but still, what a fantastic performance. And you've got to say as well, by the way, Al Arabi did really well in the game in the first half, so hopefully that changes their season as well.
What is it that makes them so special, Chris?
They've been together so long now, the players know each other inside out, and they've just got that habit of winning. They've had it for 3 or 4 years now, or even longer than that, and they know how to get games done now, how to win games. Simple as that. They're
up against Al Shahniya, who've got some confidence. Nick and Chris picked this out from week 11. Nick, you want to fire away with it? They're a side. They may be down there in 8th or 9th position, but there's a lot of confidence there, and we're seeing some good performances.
Big belief, by the way. I'm so impressed with them. I mean, what did it? They came up a couple of seasons ago and very disappointing. This is a different side altogether. And they believe in it. I mean, this is them just keeping the ball. I mean, they're against Gharafa. Gharafa started off lively, but eventually they got the respect on the football pitch for how good they are and how confident they are on the ball. Just watch them here now. There's times here now when you think they're going to give the ball away, but they're on the front foot. You know, there's red shirts coming in. It's like a wave. It just keeps coming forward. Then eventually they're down on this right-hand side. Could have done with a better cross, though, but, you know, that's good possession. That's... And they don't know. For me, then I don't think they're going to be relegated at all. I think they're middle of the table, maybe better than that.
Well, yeah, that's not a performance, is it, that you'd link with the team down at the bottom? They're not at the very bottom, of course, but that...
No. This team's doing far worse performances at the moment. Shahniya, for me, I don't think of them as going down at the moment, no.
Right, so what Nick and Chris put to the head coach, well, they asked him a question, of course, but they wanted to ask from a player's point of view. So this week, they asked Sada Tawan what was so special about Al Shahniya's head coach.
The coach is different mentality from Spain, and football in Spain is different from Brazil and Portuguese and anywhere. He teach us everything in a small point. You know, this is give us like advantage, and he give us nobody no coach before give us like we go the game for win with a big team. If every coach come said we have to give a good game, we lose like 2 3, no problem. With this coach, we go to the game for the win.
It's incredible. It's as if Sada Sawan has never heard before. You can go out there and win this game. This is a coach who's giving them self-belief and going, go on, get out there,
Well,
go for it.
He's had an impact. He's certainly got them set up really, really strongly at the moment. The only chance for me, Shani are having this game, if they go 1-0 up and they've got something to hold on to, that's a big ask against De Gea.
So what will happen? What is your prediction, Chris?
I will go 3-1 De Gea.
Okay. Nick, your turn.
Yeah, De Gea are just, as much as we like Shani De Gea, this is what they do best. Alvaro I don't think plays for Shani, so that's a big blow for them. But De Gea, it's same thing again as Chris, 3-0, 4-0, something like that.
All right, thank you. Next up is Qatar Sports Club versus Al Gharafa. Qatar Sports Club, where are we with them? I think I ask the same question every week because I'm never really sure. Samuel Eto'o didn't play in week 11. That seemed to make a little bit of a difference as well.
Saying that about a handful of teams in that sort of area in the league, right? Gharafa and Qatar Sports Club, both recently where the form hasn't been the best, so this is a hard game to call.
Because before that, before week 11, they'd had 7 points from 3 games, and you thought, OK, here we go, we're building on something.
Well, Batista's done a good job in there. You know, I think they've won a couple of games and a couple of draws, so he's made them more stable and more hard to play against. I think they've got a good chance of winning this match.
They're up against Al Gharafa. Nick, let's have a look at the Al Gharafa chances in this match against Al Shahaniya in week 11. It finished 0-0, of course. There was some chances for Taremi. We'll see here as well. They do get the ball into the net, but it was offside. But Al Shahaniya made it difficult for them. And, you know, following the week before where they scored 6 goals, this was a bit of a difference. It
was, yeah. I mean, they came out the blocks really up for it, but then as the game went on, they realised what a tough game it is against Shahaniya. And I have to question, have they got that fight? They've got some wonderful squad there with some wonderful players, but there seems to be a little bit of a pushover if it's a bit of a battle. It's a tough call because you know what, you don't know what Gharafa you're going to get. Typical story from all the years we've been here. They could absolutely blitz a team, and all of a sudden they can throw a bad performance in. And I think it's trying to get them on a consistent basis of playing those good games. But it must be frustrating for the coach. You must say that because they on paper, I mean they've got a better squad than a lot of the sides. That's enough to get them in the top 4.
Okay, well, that's what you think. It's time for us to find out what does their head coach, Christian Gorko, think. What is the problem?
I think many teams like this. You know, there are no stability, and this is a league. See the result. Sometimes 4-0 we win. Sometimes we lose 3-0. This we have no stability.
Many teams are like this, are they? Is there that instability?
This has been the strangest year we've covered so far.
Yeah.
In terms of we don't know the results of going into the game.
No, it's made your predicting very tough.
We'll still give it though, Rod.
Yeah,
no, but it has, hasn't it? This year it's been really strange. Even Ryan dropped off at one stage, but they're back where they normally belong. But for the rest of the league, it's just hard to predict.
Okay. Nick, I'm going to come to you for the prediction then. First on this one, Qatar Sports Club versus Al Gharafa.
Well, you're going to get a good performance from Gharafa. That's what I think. Qatar, I'm going to say that I think they might struggle. Might be a bit of a relegation battle for them this season. You have to say that. But I think it'll be 2-1 to Gharafa.
Okay. Chris?
I'll go 1-1.
Okay. Next up, Al Sadd versus Al Kharatiyat. Al Sadd, way back to week 11 and normal business here. 5 past Salal, Chris.
Yeah.
This was more like it.
Yeah, like the Al Sadd from the first 4 or 5 weeks. Great football, massive amount of goals. It's got to be said, some of the football he played, especially with Afif, when he got his goal in the game, just seemed to transform him into the player that we know he can be. and they just looked sharp. It was a good reaction from the Ahli defeat. That was come out of the blue, that one. We were back to the best in this game.
Yeah, 2 more goals for Afif in this match, which puts his tally up to 10 for the season. He will, I'm sure, be fighting for the Golden Boot come the end. This was it, number 2. Number 5 for Al Sadd on the night. Afif was wonderful, but of course, they've got such a strong squad. Bench and Ornick, really, you know, it's hard to believe how Al Sadd could even contemplate the defeat.
Yeah, but as wonderful as what it is, and you know, we speak very highly, a wonderful team. They're probably not out of the title race, but they made it very difficult for themselves because of how when they came back from the Champions League, you know, they have a mountain to climb, and if De Gea beat them on the 11th of December, you'd possibly think that is all over. You know, and you look at the squad, you look at the players, added fantastically as well in the summer.
What have they got to do to win this league?
They've got to win every game.
Well,
simple
the start. Well, not surprisingly, the start of every game they have is Xavi. I just want to show what you picked out. You know, Xavi. This was him giving his usual, but more. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic.
But he's got to do this now. He probably will do anyhow because he's got the class. He's got to do it for the next 11 games.
Well, this could be a swan. This could be his last 11 games. So tell you what.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Give us your last 11 like this. He's unplayable.
Yeah, well, like Nick said, including this Al Ahly match, which you know they're going to have to go. They've got to win every game before then, and win this game just before the mid-season break.
Yeah. That was his vision there. Quick free kick, takes out 4 or 5 Salah players. Here we go, and there's the goal.
Do you know what? He was the main reason in this game. He was angry, by the way, and he had to go at Bunja, but he was fantastic.
Bunja winding him up.
but he was absolutely fantastic. And if you are a youngster, you know, you have to watch him. Go to the grounds, watch this guy, because he makes it look so easy. His vision. When the ball comes to him now, he knows what he's doing. You know, he's waiting, he's looking around him. Look, no one's with him. Soon as you give him the ball, then it opens up. Now, watch, there it is. Open your body up, and then straight away Abdul Karim makes his run, then he just slides it through. You know, he was fantastic to watch. He glided around the pitch, you know, got himself a goal as well, and you know, he was fantastic. Would you say it's his last season? Not the way he's playing. You give him another year, you know, stay as long as possible.
Yeah, when you've got somebody like that in your side and everybody's playing off him and learning, and you know, it raises everybody's game.
Yeah, but they're relying on De Gea getting a bad result now, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's that type of season now for Al Sadd.
They're up against Al Kharatiat, of course, who've parted company with Aziz El Amri. He's the head coach, the second head coach to go. Bayawi, of course, was there before him, Chris. So now they'll be on head coach number 3, just on the turn, going into part 2 of the season.
Which is, you know, alarming, really. I think Wissam Rizk will step in for now, which I think is good news. He might get a bit of a reaction from the players for the next game, but it's a tall order again. You know, it couldn't have happened at a worse time when you're up against Al Sadd, who seems to be in full flow at the moment. It's troubling times, isn't it? Because I'll tell you what they're missing there for me. I watched the game the other night, and Hamrin was playing that centre forward role. Hamrin's a terrific player. We've seen him over the years, but he's not a centre forward. I think we covered him the other week when Razak played in that holding centre forward role, and he seemed to get the balls off him and get further up the pitch. With Hamrin, doesn't seem to fit in well there. They need a figurehead right through the centre there.
But the dressing room's lost. Trabelsi said when he played against them after 20 minutes, they're down tools. You've got a problem then. You've got to get a dressing room. It's down. Everyone is. All your key players they're not having it. So it's difficult. Whoever comes in has got to try and get it going as soon as possible.
Okay, let's ask you first then, Nick, for this one. Al Sadd Al Kharatiat.
It's going to be another big one for them. Can't see anything but that. Let's go for 5, 6, something. They're going to make a statement, Al Sadd, this game.
Chris?
5.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Al Ahli versus Al Rayyan. Just keep going, don't they, Al Ahli? Let's just enjoy the goals from week 11 in what was a very good win against Al Khornik.
This is an interesting game. It really does excite me, this. I mean, what he's done there, Michala, we keep repeating it every week, is he's got the team. He's got the team, what he brought up into the league, and they've got pace. They're full of confidence. They're enjoying the football. Ferrindon there, he gets his goal as well. You know, he's shouting to the manager he wants to play. And this is, he tries to play it down in the press conference, but there's no reason why they can't beat Rayyan for what they did with Al Sadd. Not many teams do that. You know, and we can say, well, hang on, Al Sadd came back for a disappointing semi-final. I'm not having that at all, mate. I think they play it down. They have a good side there now. And Nigel de Jong, by the way, is the crux of it in there. He's really getting it going. Have we timed it up?
Let's take some information from stats.
That's what we do, Chris.
There it is, Nigel de Jong, third in the league for maintenance possession, only beaten by Lucas Mendes and Gabby Fernandez.
Hang on, Chris. Chris, we've got a new word now, maintenance possession. What is this? What are we doing to our...
I knew I'd get them on that one.
I'm 45 years old. I've been in the game all my life. I've never heard that.
You don't know how much I was looking forward to this. I was like, wait till I put maintenance possession in. They'll both look at me and go, what is he on about?
Correct.
This is... what he is doing, he is responsible, and he's the third best in the league, behind Gabby and Lucas, is that transferring from defence into midfield. So it's possession, and it's maintaining that possession from a defensive point of view through to midfield.
Turn around a minute, Chris. Chris, turn around, Chris. We're going to have to go on strike here now.
We've got a resignation
We can't take any more of this now. Finished. It's over.
Listen, I give up.
Easy ball, Rodri. Make it easy pass.
Are we saying he's the third best? Well, Mendes is a defender, so how's he gone from defence to...
No, but he changes it from defence because of the way he plays those long balls and finds
it's called midfield play. That's midfield play.
It's called
That's what you should be doing.
maintenance possession.
Maintenance possession, unbelievable.
Listen, let's leave these two for a minute. Let's hear from Al Ahli head coach Milan Machala.
I have to say that that game was extraordinary. Really was fantastic spirit of the players and beautiful moments, you know. And now I know that it's very difficult for our players here repeat this game during 1 week. You know, now we have shorter week because we play Friday, and Hor was different. But very important, this game was for us 3 points, because I think Hor prepared a lot of troubles for us, a lot of troubles. You know, we hope that it's easy game, but this is all the time in the head of the players, you know. Oh, Sad we beat Sad, this is maybe, no, this is not true. And we are very, I cannot say lucky, but also lucky, because this Hor play really very good game. I don't believe that this thing can go to second division. I don't believe.
Very complimentary there, Milan Machala, towards Al Khor from week 11. They're up against Al Rayyan. Sounds like he's keeping their feet on the ground there. Here is Al Rayyan from their 2-0 win over Qatar Sports Club, Chris, in week 11.
Very, very strong performance. Something different that I saw from Ryan that I haven't seen for the last couple of years. You think of Al Rayyan, go back to Fossati, the attacking, free-flowing Al Rayyan. And this was slightly different until the arrival of Ko at half-time, where the passing all of a sudden got better in midfield, but they're looking very strong at the back, it's got to be said, very solid.
OK, what does Al Rayyan's assistant coach, Gilson de Souza, think about this match against Al Ahli?
All the game is dangerous, like we say all the time. The game, we play inside the field. We don't play with the statistics and in the paper. This is, my friend, this is in the past. All game we played is in the past. And Al Ahli have a good moment now. Sure, you have to be careful, but Rayyan is a big club, and Rayyan is fighting for something, and we keep like that. We hope we have success in the game.
No point me talking to him about maintenance possession, because he doesn't care about stats like these.
He doesn't know either.
Let's talk about something that Rayyan did on the weekend. Half-time they brought on, second half they brought on Ko. Nick, you and Chris picked out the impact he made.
Yeah, he's wonderful. It needed something like this, just that little bit of quality, like that Xavi passing we saw. Look at this for a pass here now. So you know Sebastian's going to run all day for you, and his vision, and he just made a difference. And in a minute we're going to see a cross what really does excite me. I think this is it coming up now, because it's mouth-watering. That's the word what you need. There you go, Rodri. Get on the end of that there. He knows where it's going. We know where it's going. Whip it round there. It's a perfect cross.
That was a great maintenance possession ball.
Right there, yeah. But you know what?
Box.
Yeah, but let's not forget what we did last week.
They used to call it a cross, now it's a maintenance possession ball.
Yeah, because don't forget, he was predicting what should have happened before. We predicted they should have won this game 4-0, but they did. Now, Rodri, in this game here now, I hope Al Ahli do exactly the same as what they did against Al Sadd, and I hope they have a go at Rayyan, because I think they could do this again.
Charles said it was extraordinary, that game.
He's playing it down a little bit there, but there's a man there who's going to be the difference. Please tell me you've got something there, Mutawali.
No, I don't. But what I can tell you about Mutu Ali is that he was Player of the Month last month, and Mila Machala was Manager of the Month. 4 wins in a row. Right, who's having it? Al Ahli, Al Rayyan.
Al Ahli 2-1. Al Ahli, pick the bones out of that, Chrissy. Come on.
Good.
Come on, what are you having?
Ryan 2-1.
It must be Derby weekend.
Next up, Al Khor v Al Arabi. Okay, still finding it difficult, Al Khor, even with their new head coach, Bernard Cassoni. We thought, Chris, maybe they turned the corner, but it seems like that's gone round again.
And he was sent to the stands as well, so I'll probably miss this game. This is a crucial game, one of those games I'm looking forward to this weekend, because Al Arabi can't buy a win at the moment. Al Khor in a terrible position, so what are you laughing at?
You love the old alcohol one, don't you? This is when you're free to
But I struggle.
Okay. Well, look, it is a tough match against Al Arabi. Put in a good performance in week 11. They both agreed with that. Let's show you what Al Arabi did in week 11. And what you've picked out here is Arazala and Melson, Nick, and the contribution they made in this match.
Yeah, it was positive. And I'll tell you something, straight at De Gea. It took a little bit of time for De Gea to get back into their routine, but a lot of positives. Do exactly the same against Al Khor. Get the ball in the box there as early as possible. Didn't fall for him that time, but I really liked them. Melson as well will run all day long. You know, I like him, but
he's got to play, hasn't he?
He's got to, yeah. You've got to give him the quality as well. Arazala is a lot more stronger, wanting more of hold-up play. But I was impressed with him. You know, I think that gave us a little bit of hope. It didn't before the game. You know, even this one over the top, look, there is nothing wrong with this. Just testing there, getting Musa where he doesn't want to go, you know, running back, defending. But anything less than this performance and you might struggle.
Well, where did this performance come? You know, leading up to it, the weeks before, they weren't playing well at all. This time they played well against Al De Gea, so that worries me a bit. I don't like seeing teams all of a sudden play well against the big sides. Yeah. This is the game where they've got to play like that. And if they do, they've got a great chance. And
at the end there, we saw wrong decision by Arizala. That's what you said he should have crossed it. He didn't. He went for the near post. Let's look at Nasser's chance here. We've seen Salah miss them. This was a golden opportunity, Chris.
Doing it game after game, aren't they? They're creating two really good golden opportunities every game, but they haven't taken one of the chances. Don't they scored in 5 games?
All right, let's hear from Al Arabi head coach Hatem Madeb.
Yeah, players was made very good performance against Hale. They make the performance which we expect from them. They was out of pressure, not like Hale. That's why they was free when they play. That's true. They miss some chances against Hale. You cannot have 4 or 5 chances, maximum 1 or 2. You have to be 100% concentration to score. We didn't make it last game. I hope that next game it will be for us more important that Hale game about points, about our positions with Al Khor in the ranking table.
Okay, so Al Khor versus Al Arabi. Let's get the predictions. Chris, I'll come to you first this time. Al Khor, Al Arabi.
If Al Arabi playing like they did against De Gea, they win this game 1-0.
Okay, Nick.
I'll go for a 2-0 Al Arabi.
Okay. Next up, Salal versus Al Salia. Salal were well beaten in week 11. They got 1 goal. We thought when they got this, Nick, that they were going to come back. It was to get it back to 2-1 from Sagbo, but they never built on this.
They didn't. This was their chance in the game. I mean, Al Sadd were fantastic, but Salal just before half-time, there's Sagbo with the goal. And they got a little bit nervy, Al Sadd, but it was about them coming out second half, Salal, and stamping their authority on the game, and they didn't do it. It went the other way to Al Sadd. I think there's a little bit of pressure on there. It's not happening for them at the moment. They're leaking points every week. They need to turn it around somehow or other, and this is the game. I think if they don't win this here now, there's even more pressure because they're not looking at like the top 4 at all.
Pressure.
Maybe, yeah.
Pressure's the word. Do we like pressure? Does their head coach, Laurent Benide, like pressure?
Each game is a pressure. It's important to have pressure. It's important to have a good pressure. We have a good player. We don't make a good game, okay? We need to have a good reaction, but the pressure is important for the football. We try to work with that, and we try to do our best with the player, because the player saw the game and know what we're waiting about a us against the next game. So it's important to have a pressure, a good pressure. Yes, sure.
I'll tell you one team that can put them under pressure, Chris, is Al Salih. What do you want to
Rodri, can we have some French music in the back of that next time? Because he can make anything. I'm trying
What
to.
do you want me playing the accordion? You know, something like that.
You go like that. You think it's
Like a love story,
but I thought it was a real nitty-gritty question. Here we go. You're under pressure. Goes pressure. We love pressure. Pressure. It's you think brilliant, great.
That's all right. Hey, listen, they're like that. That's their demeanour. Did you see Arsene Wenger ever getting stressed out?
No, he did a little bit at the end. Though,
There we go. Right, here we go. Al Salih, week 11, Chris. Is this them back? I mean, it was 5-0 against Al Khattiyat. Christian, you already said in the press conference, he said that Khattiyat their heads just dropped after this.
But get these two together, Tibukanine and Abdul Qadir. Look at the majority of the goals. 4 out of the 5 goals are scored from in the 6-yard box. Get in there. There's the danger area. Great move in the summer, bringing those two players into the football club. And Big Sammy's been rewarded by both of the players. And me and Nick just feel they could be a bit closer together when they play. Mind you, the best goal in the match comes from
they were miles
Tibukanine crossing 30 yards. There they go. There. Get closer together. What's the matter with you? It's a great goal.
Okay, but that's one exception. On the whole, the rest of it was all about them being closer together. That's what you picked out from the other week, where you said they're just miles apart. Come on.
Well, they took, for me, over 15 goals apiece for them. That's over 30 goals. That should be. That's not a problem to them. You know, so use them, get the best out of them, and they'll fire you at the league there. They are, but they're not doing it against the big sides. You know, they're only doing it against the lower sides where they seem to let themselves go a bit more.
Shall we get some information from stats? Here we go. Right, there we go. Rashid Tibukanine netted his first hat-trick in the QSL in week 11. He had scored braces on 7 different occasions in his first 39 games in the league. That's all I'm trying to highlight. There's something you say, you know, this is a goal scorer. 7 times in 39 matches. Forget scoring 1, he scored 2. That's his first hat-trick. And more to come, I would imagine. Would you agree, Nick?
We love him. I mean, he could easily play in in the top 3 sides. He is that good. You know, but they just have to. There's more goals. I mean, that's okay, but give him more service. He's gone to a better club from where he was. Look at Khattiyat struggling now. You know, so use him. Use Abdul Qadir. You're not seeing the best of him yet. I'm telling you. Give these guys service and they score goals. Simple as that. Look at Al Arabi scores every week.
Let me
this
just
guy
ask
could do
a
the same.
question. We talked about Hamroun and how things might be difficult for him at Al Khattiyat. Would he fit in an Al Salih side now?
Yes.
Hamroun.
Good call. Is he going?
I know.
Instead of who?
That's another argument for another day.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like to say it, and I don't because I like him. I'd say Belhadjian, but I like him as well because. I'd have him probably more midfield. But either way, look, Belhadji's fantastic. I'm not.
Okay. Well, let's see if head coach Sami Trabelsi, is he happy with things at Al Salih now?
I said for the players that there is no permission to play against the name for the team. We must be concentrate. When we see Salih against Sadd or against Hill, we see another face. If we play same face against all, I think we can do what we do it against Khattiyat, but because not all the team have the level or the quality same Hill and same Sadd.
It's that mentality, keeping the focus, whoever they're playing against. That's what he wants. He thinks if they can keep that focus, you know, against every side, they can win nearly every game and compete in the top 3.
Yeah, but we keep hearing that. You know, we heard the same with Gharafa as well. We're hearing that with a lot of the managers. You know, with him, we know what they're capable of doing. We know that they're good enough to get into the top 4, but look at last season when the wheels came off. Is it going a little bit like that now? Another very important game here now where both sides need three points, especially Salih.
So who gets the 3 points? Salah Al Salih?
Salah to bounce back on this one for me. I'll go for a 2-1. Can't beat a 2-1.
Okay, Chris?
Salih.
Why is he going...
Can you give me a score?
Well, if you're going off the previous games, how can you go with him, Salah?
He's a bit touchy because...
He's going off his feelings. He's like Benid, isn't he?
All right,
No, Salih 3-2.
He's a little bit touchy this week because it's obviously Manchester derby, so he's a little bit argumentative. He's not nothing to worry about.
Confident as well, though.
All right, before we get talking about other things like the Manchester derby, let's get back to QMB Stars League. Remind you how they stand after 11 weeks and how they line up for week 12.
As we move into the second half of the season and into week 12, Al lead the way in the QNB Stars League with 28.7 points ahead of second place Al Rayyan. Al Sadd are third with 20, and Al Salia 1 point further back make up the top four. Al Ahli and Al Gharafa make up the top half of the table. Down in the bottom half of the table, Salal are in 7th, Al Shahniya still strong in 8th, Al Arabi have slipped down to 9th place, and Qatar Sports Club have slipped down to 10th. Al Khor are still too close to danger for comfort with 8 points, and Al Kharatiat prop up the table. The fixtures in week 12 are spread over 2 days. On Thursday, the 8th of November, the early kick-off is Al Hail against Al Shahniya at 17:10 Doha time. Then 2 matches kick off at 19:20. Qatar Sports Club versus Al Gharafa and Al Sadd against Al Kharatiat. Then on Friday, the 9th of November, 2 games kick off at the early time of 17:10 Doha time. That's Al Ahli versus Al Rayyan and Al Khor up against Al Arabi. The later kick-off at 19:20 sees Salal face Al Salia.
Okay, we're all set for week 12. So from Nick, Chris and myself, bye for now.